There you go. So welcome to our virtual cooking class. Today, we're going to be trying something a little bit different. Normally, we have a couple of demonstrators and they share some different recipes. And so Christina and Jean came up with a great idea, and that was to make it more interactive. And so with that, they have provided the list of ingredients in advance so that those people that would like to participate and cook alongside Christina can actually do that today. It's not a requirement, but sometimes that kind of makes it a little bit more fun. So I think some of us do have our ingredients all set out and we're ready to chop and dice. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to Christina. So we will make her, there she is, the spotlight. Yay.
Hi, everyone. I am unmuted, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, you are.
Yes. So I have to give credit to some of our team members as well, because as we were discussing a few things on how we can get them to attend, this was one of the ideas that they would like to cook along. So here we go. We are going to make the seafood salsa, and we're going to use some tomatoes, onion, chopped fresh cilantro. The recipe calls for minced jalapeno. I won't be personally using that, but if you have it, we'll go ahead and do that step as well. Some fresh lime, a little bit of salt, some garlic clove minced, a can of baby shrimp, and then some imitation crab. So a friend of mine made this for us during a camping trip, and we all became very addicted to it. So that's why I thought, oh, I'll make it a little interesting. Now, if you do not like seafood or you cannot eat it due to allergies, that's okay. Just don't add it to your salsa. And that's okay too, because, we all make salsa a little different way. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to use the Wonderlier bowls that come in the hostess set that your hostesses can get during this month, during the catalog season. I'm going to use the Power Chef system, the chop and prep, and my daughter, I'm in California at her house, and she already has a smooth chopper. So I thought, why not just use all three systems here? And if you don't have one of those three, a knife will work. We will wait for you in the process of chopping up the product that you need with your knife. I just took out the Power Chef system fresh out of the box. And so I'm going to go ahead and kind of explain how we put that together. Now, this Power Chef system has a 5-cup capacity, and it has your milligrams on one side and your cups and ounces on the other, milliliters and liters, actually. When your Power Chef comes in the mail, it comes with a red ring that goes onto the bottom of the Power Chef, and it is like a slip guard. So that way, when you're pulling the engine or the motor, it won't be sliding all over your countertops. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the bottom. It's like a puzzle piece. So it goes right in there on the bottom. And then it comes with its own blade and the blade covering. Now, the blade covering does have a locking mechanism on it to keep your fingers safe. And I suggest anytime you use this, you put it back into its own casing and lock it even dirty, because it's all washable and it'll protect anybody's fingers that come across this, because they are extremely sharp. It also comes with the paddle for whipping up some thicker liquids or making like a mousse. And then it has the lid that fits on it, just like a puzzle piece. And then the motor. And it also fits on top, just like a puzzle piece. Now, we also have the chop and prep, which has the slip guard on the bottom. It has a little knob on the inside. It comes with its own little set of blades with its own casing as well. Sits right in there. And then the motor for the Power Chef, if you were to buy the system together, is interchangeable with the Chop and Prep. Okay. Now, the Smooth Chopper also comes with its own little paddle and its own little blade. Now, the difference between the Smooth Chopper, as you can see, the difference in sizes, but the Smooth Chopper also has a little connector that connects onto the blade or the paddle, and then comes with its own motor. Okay, so if we need the Smooth Chopper, then we'll go ahead and use it. But we can put absolutely everything into the Power Chef system and pull the cord, chop everything together, and dump it right into our bowl, if that's what some people choose to do. Or some people might choose to chop up certain pieces into the Chop and Prep and then add it in. But we will see how it works. We'll all engage. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and chime in. Who is using the Power Chef system tonight? And then who is also going to just use a knife instead?
I'm going to use the Power Chef and also the Chop and Prep for my onions.
Perfect. Is anybody just using a knife? You'll have to unmute yourself to chime in. Power Chef and Chop and Prep. Tina says Power Chef and Chop and Prep. Okay,
Yes,
great.
I also have my Power Chef ready and my Chop and Prep. I just got home, so I'm like rushing to get ready, but yeah.
Great, great. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and start. I only have one cutting board because I'm not at home. So I'm going to go ahead and put the camera down slightly. We are, I don't have my ring light either. So I'm going to go ahead. I have it setting in a phone holder in a cup. So we're going to put this down like this so that you can see my counter, my cutting board. And we're going to go ahead and start with the onions. And the reason why is because if I do my tomatoes first, then it's going to be very liquidy on my cutting board. And so I'm going to do more of the drier ingredients, and then I will cut up my tomatoes after that. So I'm going to go ahead and tilt you down, and we're going to use a knife, and just depending on how many onions you want in your salsa and depending on how large your salsa is going to be, go ahead and cut your onion open. And I do it in about 4 chunks, just like that. And I'm going to use the Chop and Prep. Open it up here and take this casing off. And go ahead and chop up your onions. But what I also like to do with my onion is I will chop up the garlic with it. And so I'm going to open up my garlic. And a really easy way to get your garlic out is to use a knife and smash it down. And it makes the casing come off pretty easy, the skin of it. And so I'm going to just add my garlic in with the onion to save a little bit of time. Okay, so I'll put that in there too. And I might want one more little small one here. So I'm going to grab another piece. Oops. And again, I'm going to use my knife and squish that down to break open the casing for it. And we're going to add it in. Now the recipe calls for minced garlic. So some of you might have the minced garlic already, but I just went ahead because our chop and prep will mince it very easily. And I'm gonna put that on there like that and pull, oops, 1, 2, just to kind of get some chunks in there. Depending on how you like your onion and your salsa, you can chop it up a little bit finer or have chunks. So if you're making a really chunky salsa, then you're gonna want to just pull it a few times. But if you're making a more finer salsa, then, you know, about 5 or 6 pulls. So I'm gonna go ahead and open that up. And I'm gonna put the casing back on this so that way nobody gets their fingers hurt because we have little ones in the house. And then I'm gonna put that casing right back on there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and dump this into the bowl. Just to get it out of there. Okay. Right, so there is the onions and the garlic all together there. Okay, I'm gonna need this lid for my next system. And then I could have put the cilantro in there as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and add that in with the tomatoes to give the tomatoes the extra little bit of flavoring of the salsa flavor. So then it calls for the tomatoes and the cilantro. If you have jalapenos, you can chop them up in your chop and prep or in with everything else, or you could be adding everything into your Power Chef system. So it calls for plum tomatoes. I just got the regular large size. And what I'm gonna do with my knife is I'm going to take out the stem piece in there. Some people just might chop their tomatoes up in big square, but I personally do this. You're gonna take the tomato out, if it's gonna come out. There we go. And then I'm gonna cut it into 4s. If you can, I'll tilt it down so you can see. I just don't want my phone to fall being in this little cup holder, phone holder. It's a car phone holder. So I was like, oh no, my ring light's at home. So I'm just cutting up my tomatoes in chunks because you know the blade in the Power Chef system is going to chop it up a little bit finer anyways. So I'm going to take this off and I'm going to add the blade into the Power Chef system. And then I'm going to add my tomato chunks in there. And that one might be a little too big, so I'm just going to cut that one down. I'm going to put the whole tomato in there. We have, at my daughter's house, we have 4 adults. Well, actually, including my other daughter and myself, we have 6 adults. And then 2 little ones that love salsa too. So I'm making a pretty large one. So you just add in your ingredients to the size of your home. I'm gonna grab a napkin real quick. And so I have my tomatoes in there. It calls for 1/4 cup. Oh no, wait. 3 tablespoons of chopped fresh cilantro. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick a few pieces of this cilantro and add it in here. And you can do it to your flavoring, what you like for taste. How is everybody doing?
Christina, I
Yeah.
didn't have fresh cilantro. So I'm going to use my doTERRA cilantro oil for flavoring.
Oh, perfect idea. Perfect. That's called improvising.
Well, the store I went to was out of fresh cilantro, so I was like, okay, I have a backup plan.
There you go. We improvise, right?
But I have fresh, well, I have canned jalapenos though, out of my garden from last year. So
Oh, yes.
I will be
so it-
putting jalapenos in here.
Oh, good. So you guys like the spice then. I can't, I personally can't have jalapeno because it's too spicy for me. So it makes my eyes water really, really bad. So, so we're gonna leave the jalapenos out in my recipe, but if you have them, go ahead and add them in. And I probably need another tomato here because it calls for the 4 plum tomatoes, and I wasn't quite sure what plum tomato meant. So I just went ahead and grabbed these tomatoes here. So I'm gonna cut them up again in 4s and then sections. Because I'm adding quite a bit in here, I'm gonna cut them up in the smaller chunks.
I probably should have done that too.
Yeah.
Being too much. In my-
Jean, how are you doing? Anybody chime in because this is a group cooking class. Let us know how you're doing.
I just want to, 2 things I want to share. A
Yes.
plum tomato and a Roma tomato are the same thing.
Oh, okay, good. So I did good.
So if you're not sure, it's the same. And then if you want to see everybody, if
Yes.
you go up to the top of your screen and there's the little Rubik's Cube. And if you click on the one that's got 9 little squares, it'll open up the screen so that you can actually see everybody cooking at one time.
Do we
Okay,
all
I
have to
have
do
a-
that or just the host?
Pardon me?
Do we all have to hit the Rubik's Cube or just the host?
Everybody has to, if that's what you want to see.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
fine.
I don't have a little Rubik's Cube.
It says view at the top of your thing. It should say view.
And then it has like 1 square, and then it has like 2 squares, and then it has like 9 little teeny tiny squares.
I have, because I'm on a phone, I have mute, stop video, share, participants,
Oh,
and more.
you may not on a phone. I'm not,
I think I raised my
Yeah.
hand.
yeah, I think you have to swipe on a phone.
Yeah, I usually swipe. Let me do that. Because then I can see who's participating there. Okay. But I can't see everybody at once.
Hmm.
I have to swipe. I can see 4 at a time.
Okay.
There we
Pick
go.
your 4 favorites.
There we go. Okay. So I have all my tomatoes in there. I have my cilantro in there. And then if you want your jalapeno, if it's already minced, you could probably just put it in your bowl or in your Power Chef. Fresh lime. Now I just got my the one that you squeeze, the zester, and I forgot that at home. I rolled it to get the juices to flow in it to make it a little bit softer. So I rolled it on the counter, and now I'm just going to cut it in half, and I'm going to squeeze it in. It calls for 1.5 teaspoons of fresh lime. So I'm just going to kind of squeeze it in there. Kind of guesstimate on myself. Give it a little bit more just because. Okay. And then a 3/4 teaspoon of salt. To me, tomatoes kind of have a salty flavor to them, but I'm going to go ahead and use the pink Himalayan salt, sea salt, and I'm just going to give it a little twist in there. Okay. And then the small garlic clove, I added in with the onions. So I'm ready to put the motor on. So I'm gonna put this on here. And then I'm gonna put my motor on. And we are going to chop these up. And like I said, depending on if you want chunky salsa or really fine salsa, this will actually puree your tomatoes if you want it to. Just have to pull a little extra. But here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this. I'm going to dump my onions in with this and then mix it up again. I'm going to dump it in there.
I think I made my tomatoes as small as I want them, so I dump them into my tomatoes so I don't chop anymore.
There you go. I'm just going to give it 1 or 2 pulls. Here, just to kind of mix it in.
Oh, I want more tomatoes.
And then I'm going to dump it in to my bowl. See, I hope you guys can see. I really like this color on the Hostess Rewards. Okay, I'm going to put the casing on this so nobody hurts their fingers. Lock that in. Then I'm going to dump this right into my bowl. Okay. And then I have my can of baby shrimp, and I'm not going to drain the juices out because the juices add the extra flavor to the salsa. So I am just going to dump it all in there, just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the smooth chopper to chop up the imitation crab. So I'm going to put that in there. Oops, that's the paddle. I want the blade.
Christina, are you putting the shrimp inside the Power Chef, or are you just adding it to the bowl with your tomatoes?
Because the shrimp is so tiny already, I just dumped it in to the bowl that I have all the ingredients already in.
Okay.
And I keep the juice in there because the juice gives it extra flavoring. But with the imitation crab, it's pretty dry. So once it's cut up into pieces, it's I just dump it in and then I'll stir it all up. Usually I'll take, sometimes I'll take our shears and cut the imitation crab with those as well. I'm gonna probably put a lot in there.
Imitation crab, like fresh. So I had to buy canned crab. So this is going to be interesting to see what it's.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, it depends on where you're at. Sometimes they don't have imitation crab. Sometimes we use fresh crab, real crab. It just depends. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on.
I'm using big shrimp, so I have to chop them to make baby shrimp.
Oh, there you go. So, you know,
I'm trying to decide how many big shrimp I need, but I think I got enough here.
That's what I was doing, Tina.
Yeah. Sometimes it's tough to find that baby shrimp.
My crab is sad. It's like little white chunks and liquid, so I'm gonna have to drain it or something.
Oh. There it goes. So there's the imitation crab, just chopped up into small pieces. Now, like I said, if you're making a really chunky salsa, then I wouldn't cut up the crab. I would just keep it in big chunks. But because we're doing a demo tonight, I just went ahead and decided to chop it in a smooth chopper. I've never used all three of the chopping system together, so I thought this would be pretty interesting because I don't have the smooth chopper, but my kids do.
So how much of the imitation crab are we using? The whole package?
You can use the whole package. I normally would, but it's to your taste, how much you want in there.
Okay.
Some people like to just kind of eat it in alone as well.
I went ahead and put my shrimp, my canned shrimp in my chop and prep because I wanted it to be more of the smaller pieces and not like the little shrimpy. So
Yeah,
it's kind of minced up. It looks really cool. I like
a
that.
little bit. Good. Gail, how are you doing? Good. You put it all in the Power Chef and did it all
Yeah,
together.
I didn't even scrape it out, whatever cilantro and tomato, I just put that on top and chopped it. So now I guess I'm ready to add it together.
Just
but-
add it all together.
Prior to coming on, I drained my shrimp. So if this
Oh.
seems a little dry, is there something I should add?
I would just add a couple splashes of water.
Okay,
And then your tomatoes, the juice from your tomatoes will be
Okay.
okay too.
okay, great.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a
We
big-
have the
looking good.
husky over here howling out the back door. They have quite a few dogs in this house, and they're huskies, lab, and two huskies,
Steven, you wanna try
one's
this?
all white.
Yeah,
Put the lid back on that
I think I
one.
should add some more jalapeno for you though.
He must like it really spicy, huh?
It's mild to me, so I know he's gonna want more.
And then I just have it all in there, and I'm just gonna kind of fold it all in.
And do you serve it with like a tortilla chip or what do you eat it with?
I have a bag of tortilla chips here that I'll put in the larger bowl,
Mhm.
and the kids can eat it with that. But if you have a favorite way of eating salsa that's a little bit different than with a tortilla chip, please share with us. It looks really good. And yeah, Gail, the juices from the tomatoes will help as well
Okay.
for flavoring.
I
had,
was just finishing up my dinner, so I didn't eat my dinner before we started this. And so I'm gonna garnish my my mahi fish with a clump of this on top of it.
Oh,
should
that
be-
sounds good.
You know, it's just like we did the strawberry on the night that we did the strawberry theme. And I
Uh-huh.
made the strawberry with cucumber salsa to go on the mahi, which
Yeah.
I made in the micro grill. This should be just as tasteful with it.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
gonna do is just put it right on top of my
And
mahi
I
mahi
had these
tonight.
chips. And then I bought this one today because I had to run to the store. It's sweet potato. I don't know
This
how
is
that's gonna be,
delicious.
but I'm gonna try it.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
You guys, it tastes so good. OMG, I could just sit here with my spoon and a bowl. And yes,
Very good.
we don't need any
You know-
chips. Oh my word, it is unbelievable.
Yes, every time we get around my friend from back home, which I'm home now, where I was raised, I ask her, can you please make the seafood salsa because it tastes so much better when you do it. So I'm pretty excited to dive in and try some of this. We're making tacos for dinner tonight, so this is perfect. I'm gonna open up the chips here. And I'm gonna put it in. How's everybody else doing? Jean, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It actually tastes good. I chopped my shrimp because I had the big shrimp like Tina and I put it in the chopping prep. I'm cutting some of my other shrimp up so it's a little chunkier. I think I
Oh,
chopped it too much. But it
I
tastes good.
think
It tastes wonderful.
That's the one I had. It's really small. So I
Barb
didn't
will
need to
like
do any
it.
shopping. Oh, it's delicious. My goodness.
Good. Diana and Tanya, are you joining us? I don't see your picture, so I can't tell if you're making it or not, or just listening in.
I'm just listening in. I actually just got home and I said, oh, they're making salsa. I want to be on. And I forgot it was an interacting one. And so I'm just going to listen and take notes on everything I'm going to put this salsa on when I make it. So
Oh,
far,
good.
I got just eat it with a spoon from Tina.
Yeah,
And
look at this.
Good, good. I'm glad you joined in.
I'm telling you.
Diane, are you there?
Yeah, I'm not making it because I'm watching my mom.
Okay, well, you'll have the recipe. Yes. And how are you doing, Francine?
I'm doing good.
Good, good. So
It was
what
very informative because now I really know how to put the processor together, you know, when I'm going to be doing my demo. So it answered a lot of questions about how to put it together and everything, and the blades and everything. So it was very informative.
Oh, good, good. Well, I'm so happy everybody participated in or listened in with us tonight. Your opinions are greatly appreciated. This is a trial run, so we wanted to see how it would go, and for future cooking classes. So definitely let Tina know how you feel about it. And we thank you all greatly.
So don't go anywhere. Let me stop the recording and I'm going to do a door prize. Okay.